girls for the elementary division. Congratulations to all of you for making it. All right, my name is Charlotte. I'm going to be your reader. With me, I've got Samir and Emilio for scorekeeping. We will do score checks after 10 and then every 5 questions thereafter. Your goal, we've got 25 questions to get through. Your goal is to get 30 points. So this is a race to 30. We have the power marked questions. And if there are no questions, we'll get started. All right. Good luck, everybody. You get my questions pulled up. All right, here we go. Toss up one. This man made many medical advancements through his dissection of Barbary macaques, and he authored On the Natural Faculties. This man, who hailed from Pergamon, also sometimes lends his name to the Anton plague, which he documented. For the points, name this ancient Greco-Roman physician considered the most prolific in the ancient world. Okay, then. That is correct for 3 points. And that's audience. Cross up 2. Joseph Priestley remained a supporter of this theory even after isolating oxygen, which he called air that had its namesake substance removed. This theory's inability to account for the observed weight gain in metal oxides was exposed by Lavoisier using closed vessels. For the points, give this now discredited theory named for a non-existent. I was looking for the phlogiston theory. All right, toss up. Give me. Toss up 3. This experiment failed to account for the viscosity of air when using Stokes' law to calculate drag. In this experiment, an atomizer was used to spray small liquid particles into an electric field between 2 parallel plates, which led a fundamental constant to be calculated as 1.59 times 10 to the negative 19 coulombs. For the points, name this experiment performed by Robert Millikan, which that is correct for 4 to Keaton. Toss up 4. This man expounded his methods in the new horse-huffing husbandry, which emphasized empirical observation and systematic cultivation. This man's most famous invention, first trialed near his estate at Prosperous Farm in Berkshire, allowed for precise, row-based sowing of grain, increasing yield and reducing seed loss. For the points, name this British inventor of the mechanical seed drill, who incidentally names a 1970s classic rock band known for the album Aqualung. That is time. Jethro Tull. Toss up 5. X-ray crystallography work by Dorothy Hodgkin in 1945 first revealed that this molecule has a beta-lactam ring. This drug... Okay. -2 to Ishan. This drug was discovered at St. Mary's Hospital by a Scottish physician who noticed that fungal contamination in a culture plate had killed all the surrounding bacteria. In 1928, that is correct for 4 to Keaton's. Toss up 6. Pickett Company manufactured a variety of these devices called the N600ES, which was used by the crew of Apollo 13. The creation of this device followed John Napier's conception of the logarithm and the formation of a logarithmic scale by Edmund Gunter. This device was invented by mathematician William Oughtred after he placed 2 logarithmic scales side by side. For the points, name this simple analog computer which mechanically calculates multiplication. Incorrect. Abe, -2. Multiplication, exponents, and trigonometry. And that is time. I was looking for the slide rule, or I could accept slipstick. All right, toss up 7. This man proposed aposematism, explaining how bright warning coloration in animals deters predators. This author of the book, The Malay Archipelago, sent his essay on natural selection to Charles. Incorrect. Abe, neg two. Uh, to Charles Darwin in 1858, prompting the joint presentation of their ideas at the Linnean Society. For the points, name this English naturalist and father of zoo geography who names a faunal demarcation line between Asia and Australia. That is time. I was looking for Alfred Russel Wallace. All right, toss up 8. Edwin Hubble measured how a galaxy's recessional velocity relates to a measurement of this effect when he first proposed the expansion of the universe. Dan Rather's reporting during Hurricane Carla was the first televised use of a type of weather radar that applies this effect to track. That is correct, Kylan, for 5 points. Toss up 9. Gerhard Ertl won the 2007 Nobel Prize in Chemistry for detailing the mechanism of the synthesis of this molecule using an iron catalyst. Wilhelm Ostwald built upon a method for making this molecule developed by 2 German chemists, which was essential for manufacturing nitrate explosives in World War I era Germany. Haber and Bosch invented a method. That is correct. Keaton for 4. Right, toss up 10 and then a score check. A modification of this process that used a dolomite refractory lining in its converter was eventually replaced by the Siemens Martin open hearth and basic oxygen methods. A solid slag of impurities such as silicon and manganese is formed when this process is formed in this process after jets of air are blown through molten pig iron. For the points, name this first large-scale industrial process for steel production. Incorrect. Neg 2 for Nora. That is correct for 4 points to Kylan. Kyler, sorry. That's for you. Sure. Simply. So, yes. I have not quite gotten to the end, so you gave me I need a smell taint. And student's answer is equivalent to the packet. Your answer is correct and my packet is wrong, or you should have been prompted. Okay. All right, that is submitted. We just have to hang tight a second. No. Well, that's why we hold. So in finals, that's why we pause, because in prelims you'll get we'll add additional points if the protest is upheld. But that's why we pause in finals, because it changes the trajectory of the game. I thought it was the first one Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's essentially it too. Yeah, we can go ahead and do that now. Do you want to do score check?
Yeah, sure. Let's just do score check. And again, this is dependent on whether the protest gets adjudicated. But so far, in first place is Keaton with 12 points. Second place is Kylo with 9 points. Third place is Adyan with 3 points. Then Ishan has -2, Nora has -2, and Ave has -4.
just was denied, so we're going to move forward. All right, toss up 11. Venture capitalist Don Valentine secured funding. Ishan, guess? Sorry, time. Neg 2. Secured funding to enable this video game to be built in factories before the Christmas season of 1975. Magnavox sued the developer of this video game for copyright infringement. This video game was designed by Alan Alcorn, who introduced it to Ted Dabney and Nolan Bushnell. This video game was the first arcade game developed by Atari. For the points, name this 1972 video game based on table tennis. Correct. And that's correct for 3, 2. Sorry? To Kylie. 3. I just finished the question. Toss up 12. This probe contains an ultraviolet imaging spectrometer called ALICE, which was used to confirm the existence of a hydrogen wall. This probe, which visited 486958 Erica, or Ultima Thule, is the only one which was not part of the Pioneer or Voyager missions to have the escape velocity needed to leave the solar system. This probe conducted the first flyby of the Kuiper Belt objects. For the points, named this NASA probe, which became the first to reach Pluto in 2015. Ishan? Time, incorrect. Neg 2. New Horizons. That is correct. Sorry, my apologies. Yes, Ishan, that is neg 1. Adiant, that's 3 for the correct answer. Okay, everybody good? Toss up 13. This man's sole publication noted that no engine operating between 2 heat reservoirs could be more efficient than a reversible one, even without knowledge of energy conservation. A cycle based on this scientist's ideas and named for him involves idealized isothermal and adiabatic steps. For the points, name this short-lived French physicist regarded as the founder of thermodynamics. Carnot. That is correct for 3 points. To Keaton. What was the answer? Carnot. How much questions are there? There's 25 questions. Yeah. We are on 14. Okay, here we go. Talk about 14. Wilhelm Röntgen discovered X-rays by passing charge through an early form of these devices called X-rays? Courants? X-ray screens? Incorrect. Neg 2 for Ishan. Called the Crookes tube. Observing the deflection of particles in these devices led J.J. Thomson to discover the electron. LCD and plasma-based electronic displays have largely replaced ones containing, for the points, what devices which emit beams of electrons from a Incorrect. Neg 2 for Kylie. From a namesake negatively charged electrode. And that's time. Cathode ray tubes, or CRT, or vacuum tubes. Would you say cathode? Sorry? Would you say cathode? Okay. I likely would have prompted. Oh. Yeah. All right. Toss up 15. This device's 2 designers later founded the Eckert-Malchy Computer Corporation to produce a stored program binary successor to it that included the first von Neumann architecture. This device was built at the University of Pennsylvania to develop firing tables and improve the accuracy. Incorrect, Abe, for neg 2. To improve the accuracy of U.S. artillery during World War II. For the points, name this device the first general-purpose electronic computer. ENIAC? That is correct, Ishan, for 3. For the electronic numerical integrator and computer. That's a long name. That is a long name. I'm glad we used it. Was it? Yeah, I can fill up on my whole house. Wait, I also All right. Toss up 16. Oh, actually, that's 15. We said we do it every 5.
Okay. All right, everyone. Keaton is on 15 points in the lead. Second place is Kylo with 10 points. Then Adyan with 6 points, followed by Nora with -2, Ishan with -4, and Abe with -6.
Thank you so much. Toss ups.
Was it like this week? She sounded like he was much more than this. You got, we just fixed that. Yeah, definitely do it.
All right, here we go. Toss up 16. In 1960, the Bathyscaphe Triste, piloted by Don Walsh and Jacques Picard, visited this feature for the first time where it briefly disturbed bethnic sediment before returning to the surface. Located near the island of Guam, this feature is the site of recent... The Mariana Trench? That is correct for 5 points to Ishan. Toss up 17. A class of these compounds discovered by Charles Peterson of DuPont are named for their crown-like shape. ACE mixture refers to a preparation of alcohol, chloroform, in one of these compounds that was historically used to induce loss of consciousness before surgery. Incorrect for neg 2 for Abe. For the points, name these compounds which have an oxygen atom between 2 carbons whose diethyl variety was used as an anesthetic. Incorrect. Neg 1 for Ishan. That is time. I was looking for ethers. Ethers. All right. Toss up 18. This man found that the sums of the reciprocals of the squared numbers converges to pi squared over 6, thus solving the Basel problem named for his birth city. By finding that there existed no unique path to traverse the 7 bridges of Königsberg, this man found that is correct for 5 points, Ishan. All right. Toss up 19. These phenomena were first observed by Jean-Jacques Derritoux de Marion after he noted the movement of the leaves of the Mimosa pudica plant even in the dark. The name of this concept derives from the Latin phrase circa diem, which translates to about a day. For the points, name these phenomena the body's 24-hour internal clock. Prompt? Then? Incorrect. Name 1 for Nora. And that is time. It's the circadian rhythms. All right, 20, and then we will do a score check. A combo therapy of 2 of these proteins targeting the spike protein was used to treat Donald Trump after he contracted COVID-19 in 2020. The 1984 Nobel Prize in Medicine was awarded to the developers of the hybridoma technology used to produce monoclonal examples of these proteins. For the points, name these Y-shaped immune proteins that neutralize antigens. That is correct for 3. We're at 20, so let's do a score check.
All right, first place is Keaton with 18 points, followed by Kylo with 10 points, Adyan with 6 points, Don with 5 points, Nora with -3, and Abe with -8.
Doesn't he start at 4 points?
No, he has 5 points. So what happened is that he got -1, and he got a 5 after that. So that
Isn't that 4?
no, it put him on a 0, and then the 5 added on to him being
Oh.
yeah, because he gained points beforehand that put him out of his negative situation, but then yeah, he had 3 before he got to 5, so that's what put him into the the positive negative.
Okay. All right, here we go. Toss up 21. These devices found in microphones were historically called condensers. Pieter von Musschenbroek invented an early form of this device consisting of tinfoil coating the inner and outer surfaces of a glass jar, which was called the Leyden jar. Oh, wait. Batteries? I'm sorry, no. -2 for Keaton. The SI unit for a quantity stored by these devices was named after Michael Faraday in 1881. For the points, name these circuit elements that store electrical charge. Atoms. Incorrect. -1 for Ishan. Time? Yep. Of the plus variety. Just kidding. What's that? Okay. We're at 22, so we've got 4 questions left. Here we go. For finding that pseudouridine modifications of this molecule lowered its immunogenicity, Drew Weissman and Catalin Carrico shared the 2023 Nobel Prize in Medicine. This molecule was packaged in lipid nanoparticles in a formulation co-created by BioNTech in 2020. The Pfizer and Moderna vaccine. Answer? Incorrect. -2 for Abe. Against COVID-19 contained for the points, what form of RNA which is translated to make proteins? That is time, mRNA, or messenger RNA. All right, toss up 23. A black silver stain for these cells developed by Camillo Golgi was used by his rival Santiago Ramon y Cajal to show that they formed tree-like arbor networks. Hodgkin and Huxley shared a Nobel Prize for modeling how a giant one of these cells from the Atlantic squid transmits action potentials down its long axon. I can take that, yep, or neuron. And that is 4 points for Keaton. Toss up 24. Usage. 25. Oh, and what's the least there? Nope. We got 30. You go out at 30 points, correct. Toss up 24. Usage of these products typically resulted in stopovers in Barbados or Dakar, while this item's sole competitor was the Tupolev Tu-144. This item notably contained a movable nose or droop snoot for better visibility during landings. Developed by Aerospatiale MBA. That is correct for 5. Excellent. 25, okay. All right, final question. This person was consulted by a woman named Sarah Helms who was infected by a specimen named Blossom. In 1796, this scientist conducted an experiment which involved James Phipps, who was inoculated with pus derived from a cowpox blister. For the points, name this. That is correct for 4.
Score to last to first, we have Omni with -10. Then we have Nora with -3, followed by Sean with 4. In third place, we have Adyan. In second place, we have
The medal ceremony. This is going to be tomorrow. Does it say the time? Let me double check. Let me see. STEM will be tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the theater. There's a couple all at the same time. So visual history, question writing, STEM, and film. Thanks. You're welcome. Congratulations, everybody. All right.